Hello everyone, this is Tom Worth Jr. Welcome back to the channel. And I kind of redirected what I was going to talk about today. I don't know if any of you guys know who Chris Cillizza is. He was on CNN, he was a Georgetown guy. He does daily videos. He's not, I mean, he's anti-Trump, obviously, but I would say I am more on the, I don't know, I'm more overt in my support. He plays it a little straighter, but he's clearly anti-Trump. And he knows politics. Anyway, I saw on his channel that Trump was having, this escaped my attention. Trump has planned a rally at Madison Square Garden on October 27th. And my jaw dropped because as you know, if you've watched this channel for a while, I was enthralled with this book I got from the library, a new one, America First, Roosevelt versus Lindbergh in the Shadow of War. And yes, those are swastikas. Charles Lindbergh was involved with the America First organization in the 30s. And I mean, it's no secret that Trump always talks about putting America first. That's code. We all know this. And I've talked numerous times about him following the 1930s German fascist playbook. And this is straight out of that playbook. And it was immediately apparent to everyone when he announced this, shockingly announced this. He has no chance in New York. Why would he waste any time in New York? Chris Cillizza thought it was due to him being a New Yorker and a lifelong dream of wanting to be idolized by New Yorkers. And he's always wanted to carry New York. He never can. And that this is just kind of culmination of that. I don't think so. I do not. I was refreshing my memory on the last time an America First thing went down in Madison Square Garden. It was February 20, 1939. So Hitler had already annexed the Sudetenland, and he hadn't invaded Poland yet. He would do that several months later. But it was Madison Square Garden. There's over 20,000 people. And this is an article, I'm going to read you a little excerpt from an article on the 80-year anniversary of that night in Manhattan. It was on NPR. It was February 20, 2019, so halfway through Trump's term. It talks about a pro-American rally. The organizers had chosen the date in celebration of George Washington's birthday and had procured a 30-foot tall banner of America's first president for the stage. More than 20,000 men and women streamed aside, took their seats. The view they had was stunning. Washington, this 30-foot poster of Washington, was hung between American flags and swastikas. And there's a picture of it. The rally was sponsored by the German-American Bund with headquarters in the 1930s. They were openly supportive of Adolf Hitler and hid behind all this imagery, this fascist ideology, but hid behind American patriotism. I'm going to zoom in on the pictures. Nazi stormtroopers fill the aisles as the crowd stings the Star-Spangled Banner at the opening. So here you can see George Washington in the middle. There's Washington in the middle. If this doesn't turn out, I'll just paste a picture of it in the thing. And then I'm going to zoom more in. Over here, you see in light color the swastikas on each side. And there is anti-Jewish language here, which brings me to a point that I saw about some micro-targeted ads in Pennsylvania and in Michigan that someone had pointed out over the weekend. And the rhetoric they used, the speeches were explicitly anti-Semitic and tirades again. I'm telling you, his people study this stuff just as surely as you would any exam. and tirades against, quote, job-taking Jewish refugees were met with thunderous applause. They demanded a white genteel America. They denounced Roosevelt as Rosenfeld, to say that Roosevelt was in the pocket of rich Jews, loaded with xenophobia and American boosterism. Don't know if you saw this, but there were some micro-targeted ads in Michigan and Pennsylvania, and the electorate's very different there in those swing states. And I don't think I mentioned this in one of my Elon Musk tirades. I might have, but the one in Michigan, so micro-targeted is not something that you're necessarily going to see or I'm necessarily going to see. They know very specifically a small group of people, and they can target a specific ad to something that only those people are going to be watching. And so the one they did for to target the Arab voters in Michigan was saying that Kamala Harris was married to a Jew and was in the pocket of the Jews. Very anti-Semitic, mixed in with some reality, some truth, but very much demonizing her association with Jewish people. And it was targeted to the Arab voters in Michigan. At the same time, there was an ad targeting Jewish voters in Pennsylvania. There's more Jewish people in Pennsylvania. And it was playing up Kamala Harris being pro-Palestinian and anti-Israel. Now, both of these ads were funded by the same political organization, or they were created by the same political organization, just completely opposite, saying opposite things. And that organization is funded by Elon Musk's PAC. That's what Elon Musk is doing. So it's even the same. It's even the same message that these Nazis had 80 years ago, 85 years ago now, that Trump is using. And as we know, there's a lot of Americans back then that it resonated with, but it was just because they didn't want to get caught up in World War II, which hadn't even really started yet. That this is the danger of not helping out Ukraine, having it turn into a continent and global-wide conflagration if we don't stop Putin where he is, in the way that they did not stop Hitler. And they couldn't stop Hitler because Europe was not prepared for war. Only Germany had built up for war. This is stunning to me, and this is another grasp. I saw last night something with Geraldo Rivera. We all know he's turned on Trump now. We all know he was just best friends with Trump back when he was on Fox News, Geraldo. But he has turned on Trump in a big way, and apparently he did after January 6th, but he's very public about it over the last few weeks. And someone like Geraldo Rivera, he was actually on the Celebrity Apprentice, the last season of The Apprentice, I guess. And someone like Geraldo Rivera actually has a lot to lose by going public against Trump right now. And you might say, well, the election's in 2 weeks. And when he first came out about this was, I don't know, a week or two ago for Geraldo. With the election mere weeks away, and if it was supposedly a toss-up, why would Geraldo, who has stayed silent all this time, why would he all of a sudden be all over the news, all over CNN, all over on MSNBC? He's never been on Ari Fleischer's show on MSNBC, they were saying. It's the first time ever. Why would he call all of this attention to himself if there was a really high likelihood of Trump winning? He's saying it's because it's such a high likelihood of Trump winning, and he wants to do everything he can to prevent that because of his love for the Constitution. And I'm thinking, if you stayed silent until fall of 2024 through all of this, why would you possibly come out now with just mere weeks to go? when you could just lay low silently as you have always done, Geraldo? Why would you do this now? And I really think it is. I mean, I guess it could be completely altruistic. Like, he is doing everything he can for America at this point for the first time ever, Geraldo. I think it's because he thinks Trump's going to lose, and he doesn't, and he wants to be on the record as coming out against him. Because he has everything to lose if Trump wins. If he says nothing and Trump wins, he can easily be back in Trump's good graces. But by coming out and doing it all over the place against Trump so publicly and in prime time, he is burning every bridge with Trump. And I like with Fox News itself, kind of going out on some limbs over the last week or two. I'm just wondering why they're doing this. Why Trump is going to Madison Square Garden. Why he's talking about Arnold Palmer's anatomy. I mean, that is sheer flailing desperation. And I do love it, but I mean, things are getting crazy. We knew they would, and they really are. And we knew we'd get to the point where every day it's something new coming out. And that's where we are right now. And I don't really have any way to predict what's going to happen later today or tomorrow. I wish I knew. We know it's more insanity. We know it will be more tight polls. I don't know. The Republicans are getting their early ballots in at a little bit higher clip, as I said yesterday. But that just means they're going to have less people out on Election Day. We're seeing record turnout everywhere. Saw an article about Dallas turnout. That's pretty insane. They're not all Kamala Harris people. There are some Trump people. I don't know. It's just getting really interesting. And the Madison Square Garden, the full body embrace of that Nazi movement. There were Nazi stormtroopers inside of Madison Square Garden. They have swastikas on their armbands. There's Nazi flags in there. So, I mean, he's just making the appeal to get every single neo-Nazi to turn out for him. And it's a little weird. But just wanted to get that out there, and also give Chris Solis's channel, not that he needs it, he's got he's very popular, but I have watched his videos on and off throughout the last few months, and he analyzes this stuff quite a bit and finds things that I don't, so I do appreciate watching him. And that's it, I guess. Another short one. These are kind of rapid fire last few days, and we'll talk tomorrow.